Welcome back, everybody, to the Small Town Collectibles YouTube channel. Today, you're going to get to see my interview with fellow YouTuber DJ Linx. DJ Linx is one of my favorite YouTubers out there. You will see everybody in his comments talking about his editing skills, and got to sit down with him, and he is as cool just to sit and talk to as he is on his videos. Had a great time getting to know him. I think you guys will dig it too. As I like to say, when I grow up, I want to be as cool as DJ Linx. So here you go, guys. 10 questions with our boy, DJ Linx. DJ Linx, man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. This is a great opportunity, and what you do is amazing, bridging the members of this community. It's awesome.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. So let's just get into it, man. So question number one is, how did you come up with your name, DJ Linx? So I just want to know, is your mom just that cool that she just named you DJ Linx, or is that kind of a nickname for you?
Yeah, well, my mom, she's passed. It's going on 10 years, but she was that cool. She didn't name me DJ Linx, but she was definitely that cool. The name, I guess it originally stems from high school. I graduated high school in 98, and senior year, we always had the annual talent show, but I was never in it. So senior year, I got two of my other buddies to kind of agree to be in the talent show. And then we wrote some raps. I was in the poetry club. I never did a rap, but we wrote some raps. We were in the poetry club. We did the talent show. And then they put us on the bill as the Cuban Linx, because my favorite album of all time is Raekwon the Chef's Only Built for Cuban Linx. So we was just like, let's just be known as the Cuban Linx. So we did the talent show. And then fast forward a couple of years, we formed like a little crew, a type bond, my friends and I, and we were then known as the Linx. So instead of THE, we were DA Linx. Fast forward to, I think, about 2005, when I saw a video of, I think it was DJ Static Selector mixing it up on YouTube, and I was just like, I want to do that. So like 2 days later, I bought all my DJ equipment, and then I was just like, you know what? It's the right thing to do. I'm just going to be DJ Linx. So DJ Linx, I've been that guy since 2005.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I always find it interesting, like, how do people come up with their names? It's like small town for me. I literally live in a town of 600 people. Like, wow. It's a small town. And so I've always kind of, I guess, just, related to, or, am proud of, the fact that I'm from a small town. So I find it interesting in how people come up with their names. All right, so question two.
Yeah.
What or who got you into collecting?
What or who got me into collecting? I would have to give, excuse me, those props to my older brother. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So I'm one of five. I'm the middle child. I have two older brothers. I'm the middle child. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. But my older brother, and this is about like 86, 87, 88, I thought he was the coolest cat in the world. He had comic books. He had a bunch of baseball cards, and he had some action figures that when he went out, I would kind of steal his G.I. Joes and play with them. And I just thought he was the coolest cat in the world. And then about like 89, 90, he just gave me his comic books. And I remember it was Web of Spider-Man 23 with a pink cover, and it said slip sliding away. I don't have it anymore, but I remember that distinctly. Daredevil, Detective Comics, and the G.I. Joe comic book. And I would just always read those things and look at the covers and stuff and just praise them. But yeah, definitely my older brother, man. Like, and even to this day, I think that he's a cool cat. So
right, yeah. Well, that's cool, man. No, for me, it was an uncle. I had an uncle who he would buy. So where I live is coal mine country, right? So yeah. This is the coal mining capital of the world, and coal mines would, they would lay off every so often. It was kind of boom bust, boom bust. That's kind of how the industry went. So I had an uncle that traded at flea markets all the time. When I was a kid, he traded in comic books and trading cards and things like that, man. And I thought he was the coolest person on the planet. So, and then he used to let me run around with him, and he's since passed as well. But he was awesome, and my dad was always supported it, the whole thing. So it was a lot of fun. So question three: what is your favorite character or book to collect? Do you have somebody that you just love to collect?
Yeah, so from the beginning, my favorite character has always been the Incredible Hulk, even before comics. I think that stems back to when I would sit down with my older brothers and my mom, and watched the old Bill Bixby TV show. And it's funny, I got to meet Lou Ferrigno like 2 years ago, and I was
really?
like, I was like fanboy. I was like, Mr. Ferrigno. Awesome dude. So definitely the Incredible Hulk. And then when I started collecting comics, that was the book that I focused on. But my 3 top characters are the Incredible Hulk, the Punisher, and Thanos. I love Thanos. So when I got back into comics a few months ago, so this is April when I started the YouTube channel, the first book that I focused on was The Immortal Hulk. I was just like, what's new out there for the Incredible Hulk? And it was The Immortal Hulk. And I picked up immediately whatever volumes were available. I think it was like 5 at the time. I went to the store, got 5 of those. And then since then, I've caught up and I'm getting the individual runs on Wednesday. But definitely The Incredible Hulk is special to me.
Well, you definitely picked a good time to get back into the Incredible Hulk, because that run right now is it's crazy good. And kind of similar. It's been 2 or 3 years ago for me. You know, you kind of have that gap in between, but you know, the Incredible Hulk is a phenomenal read right now, and those books are crazy hot too. So that's a cool character, man. I think a lot of people growing up, you know, for me, when we were kids, we had 3 channels at one time, and they were the 3 major networks, and then we got cable. So when we got cable, I think we had 7 channels. And so it was, you know, you got to watch Saturday morning cartoons, and you would get to see like the Justice League, you would see Hulk, you would see Spider-Man. And so, I think that's an awesome character to collect. So you kind of mentioned, you know, started the YouTube channel a couple months ago. Question 4 is, why did you start a YouTube channel? Like, what was your inspiration to do that?
Yeah. Thanks for that question. I think definitely the uncertainty of what was going on. So, you know, the pandemic hit. My job was secure at the time, but the office was closed, and that was on March 13th. So then I had all this time on my hands, and I'm a creative guy. So, you know, I do creative writing, obviously do the video production and all that stuff. You could see that I like to tell stories, and I didn't want that creative energy to just kind of wane and fall by the wayside. So my friend, his name is Daniel. For a while, he's been telling me, hey, dude, you should start a YouTube channel, mainly to unbox and review Hot Toys. As you can see behind me, I'm a big fan of these Hot Toys figures. So he put that bug in my ear for years. And then one day I was laying in bed and I was watching YouTube, and I went down the comic book mystery box rabbit hole. And, you know, I always watch guys like Gem Mint. He was a big inspiration. Edwin, the comic jabroni, rest in peace. He was a big inspiration. Franchise Kicks. And then I came across Wink Inc.'s channel, you know, the company man, the numbers guy. So I came across his channel, and I was floored, not only because he was opening great mystery boxes, but because he didn't know what like 90% of the comic books were in the box. And that didn't deter him from making his video, from being excited about the stuff, and from sharing it with the public. And I was just like, that is awesome that he's not afraid to do that. And I think the very next day I went on and I bought 2 boxes from thatspidermanbooth.com. But yeah, definitely Wink Inc. was an inspiration. And, you know, I started the channel just to focus my creative energy.
That's cool, man. I think that's a great answer. And Wink, for me, was one of those guys, too, when I saw him, because if you watch any of my videos, I don't know what half the books are that I'm opening. I know what some of them are, but I don't know what half of them are. And doing the channel has allowed me to get into doing the research, because I like to read. And that was always my thing with comic books, is I like to read, but I like the art. I like the storytelling behind the whole thing. And then I like the characters. And then I'm not necessarily a creative, as far as I'm a little more of a creative than I thought, because of doing these videos. You're right. It's kind of fun to mess around with it and try to edit it out a little bit. And I've learned how to do a ton of things just by starting the YouTube channel. But Wink was one of those guys, his energy was so strong that it was fun. And I thought, dude, I can do that too. You know, I mean, I like to talk. I like to run my mouth. I mean, I sound funny, but I like to talk. And it's, you know, I thought, what's fun? I think that's a great answer too, man. That's cool. All right. Awesome. So since this is question 5, and this is kind of a little longer and it's more of a 2-parter, but since you started, what has the community meant to you? And is there anything about it that you would change? And do you have a favorite comment from a viewer? Has there just been a comment that's really stood out to you or meant something to you?
Yeah, thanks. Let me give that some thought. I should have prepared, right? This community is amazing. I think the world will benefit from tuning in and watching what we do, the way we connect different people, race, religion, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like you mentioned before, you're in Kentucky, I'm in Brooklyn, and we're here talking. Yeah. And I think that's a fantastic thing. And the generosity of some of the community members is insane. I didn't know what an AOK was until I started watching these videos.
Me either.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's an AOK? And so someone said an act of kindness. That's insane how people send AOKs and stuff just out of sheer appreciation and love. The community has meant a lot. When I first started the channel, the first person to kind of reach out and befriend me, if you will, was Karate Kev from Super Power Review. And it wasn't just, hey, dude, I just subbed to your channel, sub to mine. We spoke, and then we connected on Instagram, and we kind of formed a friendship. I was on his show, the Super Power Review, and that was the first collaboration video that I've ever done. Remy Q from Remy Q Studios. This guy is amazing. He was on my live when I gave away a slab for my 300 subscriber giveaway. And he's just super generous, nicest guy in the world. And we connected first through the videos, through the comments, and then we connect on Instagram, and then we message back and forth. Greatest guy in the world. And other guys like you, Slotted Up, Gary B, Taylor Winder. Like, I never thought that I would be friends with people just through this community, which is crazy. The friendship, the camaraderie, it's amazing. I never thought that I would get to this level. And then I'm going to have to kick it back to you to repeat the part 2 and 3 of that question.
It's no problem. I do want to comment because you're right. That has been the thing for me that has been the most, I don't know, we were talking before we came on, you know, everything's so divisive right now. It's just so crazy out there. And how kind people are in this community. I mean, I got my first AOK from Slotted Up, and I didn't even know what it was. I was like, an AOK? What's an AOK? You know, and it's an act of kindness, man. He knows that I like Superman, so he sent me a bunch of Superman comic books. That I can't even explain what that meant to me. And, you know, and look, I'm older, you know, I'm kind of in that middle generation where technology and the old school, you know, kind of intertwined. So I still keep one foot, you know, in the old school, like shaking hands. I want to talk to people. I want to do that, but I'm also got one foot in the technology. And having friends through a YouTube channel and, you know, getting to know people was not anything that I ever thought I would do.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah. So the rest of it, was there anything about the community since you've been in it? Is there anything about it that you would change?
I wouldn't change a thing. So far, I've had nothing but positive experiences. And in the beginning, I had this trepidation where if I put out something that was whack, like if you go back and watch my first video, it is horrible. I didn't have lighting. You know, I still had this camera, but my lighting was bad at the time. I didn't know how to color grade, so it's like has this bluish tint to the entire video. And I was expecting to get killed in the comments. I was so scared to upload it, and I didn't. And through subsequent videos, people, instead of saying, yo, your video is whack, they'll be like, you know, maybe mess with the tint a little bit, or you should invest in lighting, things like that, like positive, constructive feedback that helped me grow and helped this channel. Excuse me. So I wouldn't change a thing. Like, so far, I have no regrets, nothing about the community. As far as a favorite comment, and I don't have it offhand, but I remember distinctly, I was laying down reading my comments, and Sincere Carter, so he's a subscriber, and I follow him on Instagram, great guy. He was the first one that I was just like, holy crap. So he sent me a message and was just like, yo, you inspired me to get into comic books again. So I was just like, oh, that's nice. And he said, I'm sending you mad love from Nevada. And that was the first time somebody messaged me saying where they were located as far as geography is concerned. And I was just like, wow, somebody's watching me all the way in Nevada. This is insane. And let alone, I never thought that I would reach the point as far as subscribers. I'm verging on the point of 400 subscribers. I didn't think I would get 25, right? And then now somebody outside my immediate circle, besides like my brothers and my friends and stuff, is watching my video. Somebody outside the state is watching the video, and then somebody halfway across the country is watching the video. So big shout out to Sincere Carter. That was probably my first impactful comment that made me open my eyes and realize that I was doing something good.
That's awesome, man. So question 6, what do your significant others think about your hobby, and how does it impact your personal life?
Yeah. That's a funny question. My wife, I'm 40. I'll be 41 in January, and my wife and I have been together when she was 16. I was 17, and we grew up together. We're high school sweethearts and all that other stuff. She is super supportive of what I do. She's my best friend. I kind of blame on her sometimes. So when I collected figures in my teens, so I would collect the Spawn figures, but I would collect the ones I liked. She was the one that said, you know what? you're having a hard time finding the ones that you like, just pre-order the whole entire set. And she made me a completist as far as figures go. And then it's comic books. Before I got back into it, actually, we were watching, I think it was on the AMC channel, where they had a show documenting the history of comic books. And one day it was the Image episode. So they were talking about Todd McFarlane, how he went from Marvel to Image and all that stuff. And it was, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. And that was my heyday. So that was the first, Todd McFarlane's run of Spider-Man, Rob Liefeld with X-Force, and then Jim Lee with X-Men. And I was just like, yo, those are the comics. I love those comics, blah, blah. And then she surprised me for Christmas that year, and she had gotten me an X-Men #1, quadruple signed, a Spider-Man #1 signed by McFarlane, and an X-Force, a copy of X-Force, still in the polybag. And I was like, that is insane. So she's been super supportive as far as the comic book stuff. She also comes with me to cons, which at first I was like apologizing to her. I was just like, sorry, but because I used to go by myself when it was like, dingy in the church basement and all that stuff before New York Comic Con. And New York Comic Con a few years ago, I think it was 2017 was the first one that we went. And she came with me, and we had a good time, her and my daughter. So I have a daughter. She'll be 22 next week, I think. Well, not I think. I'm sorry. She will be 22 next week. And she's been super supportive. I've always been, the cool dad. So, at one time she was into Star Wars when she was little. So she wanted a Darth Vader figure. And I was the dad that would go out and buy the whole set. Right. Here you go, Darth Vader. He needs people to fight with. Right. So she's been super supportive as well. And they're just a great support system. And I think the philosophy is, as long as we have a roof over our head and food on the table, do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that's great. I wouldn't know what to do because my wife and kids are supportive too. Like that, my kids are getting to that age where they're 14 and 12 right now, and they are at the point where they don't want to talk to me right now. Like they're in their own little worlds. They're kind of hanging out with their friends and all that. But yeah, I couldn't imagine because my wife's all about it. She's like, "Oh, you interviewing DJ Linx this morning?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like fired up to get to see the video too because she likes your videos too. So,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Question 7, and I think this is the question everybody wants to know, man. How did you get those top level editing skills? Because your videos, dude, are on point. I mean, like they're legit. Like, how did you develop those?
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And I greatly appreciate when people comment on the editing stuff. And then, we're in a group chat and it's like a lot of comments about the editing, and I find it hilarious. Before I got into the video stuff, one of my best friends, he's like a brother to me, Gabe Guzman. So shout out to Gabe Guzman. He's a filmmaker and he's a director. And I would sit with him in some of his editing sessions, and he was like a mad scientist just working on his laptop. So he had the laptop, he had the big screens put up in the conference room, and watching him, it was just like watching an artist do their thing. And that inspired me. So from there, I enrolled in an Adobe Premiere class. So I took like 3 days straight of Adobe Premiere. And then after that, I did Adobe After Effects. And I learned the basics, but it comes with practice. So what happens is, if you go back, I'm going to bring back to my first YouTube video, it's pretty bad. And then just practicing over time as I'm making more videos, they get increasingly better. So then I learned the color grading, which is super hard, and a bunch of other stuff. And then at my job, well, I think that's another question. But yeah, I blame it all on Gabe Guzman. So he's my brother. And just watching him, and he was definitely an inspiration to kind of hone these editing skills.
Cool. So, well, question 8 is what do you do for a day job? So let's go ahead and put that question out there. And what do you do for a day job? And is it tied into, the editing work that you do?
Yeah. So I work for a small company, about 60 employees. We're a communication skills consulting firm. And what we do is businesses hire us to go in. And if you have to make a presentation, you hire us, and we'll go in and we'll give you the tools on how to make that presentation more impactful, how to make your meetings more dynamic, how to make your writing more concise and clear. So that's what the company does. What I do, and it's no surprise, I do the strategy and implementation of all digital media across the firm. So that's from video production, graphic design, our marketing materials, any sort of branded decor that goes into the office. So anything like that, I develop the strategy and then do the implementation for it. But video production is just a subset of my roles. And yeah, I'm super happy. That's why I said there's going to be no surprise, because it's like I kind of do it in my
right in your day to day. Well, that makes sense though, because it really is. I mean, they are so good when you compare, when you watch. Because I watch, God, you're probably like me. I watch hundreds of YouTube videos. I mean, and I've, since I started a channel, and then you start making these relationships with people. Well, you want to support them. You want to go check out their videos, and there's just a very, very distinct difference between your channel and a lot of other people's. Even some of the best channels, the people who have the biggest followings, their video production is not like yours. Yours is, is definitely different. And so that makes sense, man. I said, so I'm going to end up asking 20 questions about this. This is going to become 30 questions instead of 10 questions. But on that same track, so you were able to take classes, because I think a lot of people watching would find this informative. You were able to take classes on Adobe to learn how to get the basics of using the program, right? Now, did they offer that locally, or is that something you did online?
So it's locally. So I had to go to a place, and it's in New York. You would find a bunch of, whether it's photography, videography, whatever class that you want. Being in New York, since it's such a populated city, you're going to find whatever it is that you want. And I went off-site. So actually my job paid for it. So they gave me the budget to pay 3 days straight, and then 6 days total with the Premiere and After Effects. So they paid for it. And I went off-site and I sat legit in a classroom with a bunch of people. Remember sitting with a bunch of people? So I sat in a classroom with a bunch of people, and we did it 3 days straight, just the basics and things like that. And then I was trying to look, because I know Slotted Up 503, he had downloaded it, and I was trying to look for if I still had the textbook, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to send that to him as an AOK. Sorry, Slot, that's a spoiler if you're watching this. And I was trying to look for the textbook, but I couldn't find it. But definitely, it's with learning the basics, and I'm pretty sure you can find this stuff on YouTube as well. It's just practice. So with anything, if you want to get good at it, you have to practice. And I think there was like some study out there that you don't become a master until you do something for like 10,000 hours.
That's right.
And and I think that's, hopefully I'm at 10,001 hours and I mastered this craft. But there's still always a lot to learn.
Absolutely. Well, you do a great job. I mean, I am basically using iMovie, on my phone. At first, my daughter was doing it, right? Like she was doing it. And my early videos are better than my videos now because my daughter was doing it. And I have, she got tired of fooling with me because I was putting out so many videos. She just got tired of messing with it. So I learned how to do it. And I learned something new every single time I edit one. And I don't do like crazy editing like you do. Mine's pretty basic, but I learn something new every single time I do one. And I think another one that I like editing wise, I think it's Spider-Man Collectibles. It's Arthur and AJ. I don't know if you watch their channel. They do some interesting stuff with editing as well. But I see that a lot too, man, in that group chat we're in, as far as, like, how do you do that? And I know Slots talked to me about it a lot. Like, what are you doing? And I said, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Ask DJ Linx what he's doing and try to emulate that. So mad props, man, because you definitely got it going on when it comes to editing.
No, thank you. And then just one thing I want to say, I was actually, I had some hesitation about putting out such overproduced channel, because I know that it could turn some people off. Like, it's like, oh, this guy, thinks he's better than everybody because he has this awesome editing ability or something like that. And I know some people gravitate more towards homegrown channels and things that aren't so overproduced. So it wasn't that I was just like, I know how to do this, let me just do it and then become this thing. I was actually scared and nervous to put that out there and think that it might have turned some people off. But then at the same time, I'm like, I have this expertise, I'm going to leverage that. Like, we all want to be different. Our channels, we all have the same content, right? And we have to make our channels stand out. And if I have this expertise, I'm going to leverage that in order to make my channel stand out and get more views and things like that. So it's not always as easy, and there's always some stress and pressure that comes with it.
Sure.
And even with the editing, so I'm on a schedule, so I don't want to put videos out every day and things like that. I want to stick to a schedule, so I'm very disciplined in that. So I want to do Fridays and Tuesdays. But like last night, I opened Taylor Winder's mystery box, and I was so excited that I woke up this morning and I was just like, I'm just gonna put this together and edit it, and I put it out there today. But normally I try to stick to a schedule because it does take time, and
Sure. No, I mean, I say it a lot. I approach it, and I use the skills that I have as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you're clearly good at it, and I don't think they're not overproduced is the thing. It's just cool. The way that you do it is just cool. And I say it all the time. I say when I grow up, I want to be as cool as DJ Linx. Like, I joke all the time and say that to Gary B and slot it up, and we're doing the usual suspect stuff. So
that was funny when you said that in the shout out. I was on the floor laughing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like DJ Linx, because you seem like a cool cat, man. You got a laid back personality, and just talking to you now, your videos are very much who you are. I mean, just sitting here talking to you, so it's cool. But I use the things that I know in marketing and just business to my advantage as well with my channel. And I don't think there's a thing wrong with that. I think everybody does that. They take what they do best, and then you make it part of your channel, because that's your personality. That's who you are. So
yeah, it's definitely who you are. And then now we're getting off track, but I just wanted to talk about authenticity. Authenticity goes a long way. And what you see in front of the camera is what you get. I'm not always this calm. Sometimes I have my moments. But comic books, figures, that's my safe space. And
sure.
But just being authentic and being who you are, that kind of comes through the camera. And I'm gonna bring it back to my my first video. I keep talking about the first video. In that video, I think I did like 10 takes and trying to get the intro down right and all that other stuff, and just this pressure to be perfect and put something out there that's not like kind of messed up. And then now I stumble across words. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, well, me too, man. I was editing the crap out of my first few videos, and I was like, man, I'm just going to do it, and this is who I am, and if people like it, great, and if they don't, that's okay too. I'm having a ball. So yeah, but no, you see, man, you come across authentic. You're right. Authenticity is a big thing, because you come across authentic, and then just sitting here talking to you is just like watching one of your shows that you produce. So it's cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. All right, so last two questions. First one is, I wonder this because I'm a sports fan, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I wonder this about everybody that I watch. Do you have a favorite sports team? Now, you're in Brooklyn, so I'm going to assume that you do, but.
I'm going to disappoint you there. I've never really been a sports guy.
Really?
Yeah, you see the Yankees hat. That's more like a New York fashion thing. So everybody in New York wears Yankee fitteds. Yankee fitteds and Timberlands. And literally I have a Yankee fitted and Timberlands on right now. I've never really been into sports. I'll take it back to 92. I think the first basketball game, I was in 6th grade in 92. And I remember them talking about the Bulls and Blazers game 1 of the finals, the 92 finals. So then I started watching basketball then. And then back then I would watch the Bulls all the time because it was for Michael Jordan. Loved Michael Jordan back then.
Me too.
And then when he retired, I kind of gave up on sports. I dabbled in, I mean, it's not really a sport, but professional wrestling. So kids at school would talk about professional wrestling. And then I was like, let me just watch this so that I know what people are talking about, because I always felt like out the loop. And even now, like I watch the NBA finals. So I watch all the games of the finals. I'll watch the World Series, but I won't keep up with the schedule throughout the year or anything like that. Boxing, I'm into boxing. So, my friends and I, we all get together, or we got together before,
Right.
And we would always watch unboxing, and we would go to a lot. I've been to the Barclays Center a lot for boxing matches. And my brother-in-law, he's a professional boxer. So I've seen him box a lot, whether it's at the Barclays Center, Atlantic City, or things like that. But yeah, sorry to disappoint. I'm not really a sports guy.
No, well, growing up here in the hills, there just wasn't a whole lot to do, right? So everybody in Kentucky, when you're born, you are raised to be a Kentucky basketball fan. You are brought into the Big Blue Nation from the day you're born. I did it to my kids. I mean, from the day you are born, it is almost like a religion here, Kentucky basketball is. And it's a lot because we don't have any professional sports teams.
Yeah.
So, the closest Cincinnati is the closest sports city to us as far as professional, go. So it's all like you see Anthony Davis behind me here.
Yeah.
It's all, and in my videos, you're going to see the UK stuff. I usually am wearing UK things. But no, there's nothing, man, look, when you live in a place like New York, I could see where, sports wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? You've got a lot of other things to do. You've got other interests. You can actually, if you are a creative or somebody who likes to do that type of stuff, you like to write, you've got outlets for that kind of thing. And I could see where sports just isn't that big of a deal. For us, it's about all there is. And you literally, my grandmother, I swear to you, back before I was telling you we had cable, we would come to my grandmother's house. Her house is actually right where I'm sitting. Her house was here. I built my house where her house is. Nice. And on the days that Kentucky played, everybody came to her house. She would cook dinner, and we would listen to the Cats on the radio.
Nice.
You know, and so that was kind of like a family bonding thing for us. So it's, you know, it was always kind of a big thing here. So, but no, I don't think there's a thing in this world wrong. I just figured he's in Brooklyn. He's probably a Yankees fan or a Mets fan if he's different, you know. And when you get the Nets there, you got Jay-Z, you got the Nets, you know. I mean, it's I came to the bar. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I came to the Barclays Center one time. We happened to be in New York for one of these dance competitions my daughters were in, and I came over into Brooklyn and went to the Barclays Center and went to the NBA draft because Kentucky's guys, you know, Kentucky has like 31 people in the draft now. That's what got me watching the NBA again, was because half the league are Kentucky people, you know. So I came over, loved Brooklyn. I ate a little pizza shop down there by the bridge and walked across the bridge. It was a good day.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned the family bonding time and things like that. I remember back in the day, like the household was a Mets household. So my mother, my uncles, everybody loved the Mets. I was always that counterculture guy where I was just like, I don't want to watch this. And I gravitated more towards my dad in the sense because my dad wasn't into sports, but he was big into music. So he was a DJ as well. Nice. And he was a DJ. My older brother loved music. My second older brother, Nelson, he was a DJ as well. And then my younger brother too. And we were more on that side. So we gravitated towards my dad as far as the music goes. And I used to love like being a kid, and he would just blast his DJ equipment at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I thought it was awesome. But that's where we found the family bonding time through music.
That's cool, man. I love music too. My kids are, you know, big music fans. Now we like different types of music, but I like everything. It's kind of like opening the comic book mystery boxes. I think that everything I open is awesome. And, you know, but I like all kinds of different genres. So that's cool, man. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So question 10, the last one.
Yeah.
What are your personal grails or grails? Like, you have a personal grail that you have or that you're looking to obtain?
Yeah, so I'll tell you the ones that I'm looking to obtain. The first one on that list is Invincible Iron Man 55. CGC graded and hopefully a high grade. First appearance of Thanos, Drax, and then a couple of other people. I love Thanos. And Remy Q Studios actually AOK'd me the Captain Marvel. I think it was Captain Marvel 26, which was Thanos' first cover appearance, and that just blew my mind. I was like, that was insane. But definitely Invincible Iron Man 55, which is Thanos' first appearance. I guess on the short list, Giant Size X-Men #1. I would like to pick that up in a high grade. I know Slot mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. That'll be on the list as well. A first print, if possible. Right. And then I think before I die, I want to get an Amazing Spider-Man 15, even if it's at a 1.5. Like in my LCS, in the back, they have all the slabs, and they had an Amazing Fantasy 15. And it was... They were wild, and it was like a 0.5 grade, and they wanted 10,000 for it.
Oh my gosh!
Which that is nuts. So that's on the comic book side. On the figure side, I've always said I wanted this, and I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, but I want a life-size T-800 endoskeleton from Terminator.
Yes, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I've had my eye on it for a while, and yeah. So what happens is, this is my display room. And my daughter's moving downstairs. So we own the building, and my daughter's taking an apartment downstairs. We're in the process of renovating it for her. So I'm going to take her room, and then I'm going to, you know, move everything in there and have a bigger space to kind of record my videos and stuff like that. Because I don't know about you, in a small space, it gets really, really hot, especially with the lights and everything. So that, and then I want to carve out like a little section for my life-size T-800 endoskeleton, so that it'll go there. So
that's great, man. I love it.
Those are my grails.
I love it. No, and so, you know, most of the videos that you've seen, or that I've seen you do so far, because I just picked up on you maybe a month, or I've only been doing them for a couple months and really got into it. So have you done any action figure unboxings yet? Like, you know, or reviewing the action figures that you open? Because I always see those behind you. I'm like, man, those are bad. You know, have you done any of that yet, or has it just been comic book mystery boxes?
No, I have done some unboxings and figure reviews, and then I think one of the biggest ones I did, I bought a life-size bust of Thanos from Avengers Endgame, which was just massive. And what happens is I only get Hot Toys, so I'm not buying everything that gets put out there. So I'm only buying Hot Toys, and then right now there's a lull in the schedule. So I have some on order that were supposed to ship from Japan, and they just haven't shipped them yet. So that's why you're seeing a bunch of comic book mystery boxes, because I'm trying to fill that void. But I definitely want to get back into the Hot Toys unboxings and reviews. I was thinking about doing some top 5, like my top 5 Hot Toys figures, my top 5 CGC slabs, my top 5 statues, just to kind of put that content out there and fill that void. Yeah, because I don't want to only be a comic book mystery box.
Right.
You know, I have all these figures behind me, and I just want to showcase that as well. And I'm just waiting for them to ship my stuff. Come on, Toys Wonderland, ship my Nebula.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, that's because I like, like I said, I like it all, man. There's nothing I don't like. I tell everybody I have a problem because I like everything. So cool, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on with me to 10 questions. I've really enjoyed getting to know you a little better. I think the people that watch it will dig it too. And I want to say something to you that I said in my shout out video, but I 100% mean. I believe that you will be one of the next big channels just because of your editing skills. And I don't think they're overproduced, man. I think it's just on point. Like, it's just good. And your personality, you're laid back, and you're kind, man. You've got a kind, you can tell you just have a kind heart. You have a kind personality, and I wish you nothing but luck, man. And hopefully we can stay in touch through this journey. Because I really dig getting to know people from different parts of the country, and that dig the same stuff that I do. And so I just want to thank you for coming on, but legit, your channel's on point, man. And I wish you the best of luck. I think you're going to explode at some point.
Thank you, Jimmy. I greatly appreciate that, and I want to send that love right back at you. You're doing the Lord's work, bringing everybody together. Like I said, we can all do comic book mystery boxes, but things like this 10 questions, it gets people to know us on a different level and get them to know the personality. And maybe, like, if you saw one of my videos, you were probably on the fence, and it's just like, yo, this guy is faking being laid back or something like that. But when you see something like this, you really get to know the person and see that's who I really am. So thank you, and I wish you nothing but luck. And you're doing the Lord's work, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Look, guys, we appreciate you stopping by. I love the 10 questions series. I've got some more coming up, some lined up. That's going to be a lot of fun. I want to thank DJ Linx for coming on today. And as I always end my shows, until next time.
And spread love, because it's the Brooklyn way. Peace.